Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom with Kate Olson. As an evolving spirit and change adventure navigator, it is Kate's mission to empower and guide you on your path and inspire your truest passions. She will encourage you to share your gifts, speak your truth, and ignite your inner wisdom and purpose. She hopes to do so with a little humor and grace, and her own soulfire passion. Kate talks with amazing guests who have embraced the pursuit and are fanning the flames of their own passion, purpose, and soulfire wisdom. Now here's your host, Kate.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Soulfire Wisdom and Tips, Tricks, and Triumphs Tuesday. So if this is your first time listening, I'm a life coach, hypnotherapist, NLP practitioner, and a Reiki master. But I like to call myself a change adventure navigator because I love guiding people through obstacles and adversity to find their path, purpose, and peace. So on this Tuesday, I wanted to talk a little bit about questions. I'm sure everybody has heard the term or the advice that you need to ask the right questions. And you hear that in reference to a lot of things, like it's true about interviews and it's true about if you want to find out information about just about anything. It's true when you're doing research, but it's also true if you want to find out more clarity about, your own path and purpose. It's a matter of asking yourself the right questions. And a lot of people, one of the biggest topics that people come and see me about is when they're feeling stuck and they want more clarity about what direction to go in. And the process I go through with those people when they are feeling stuck is showing them how to ask themselves questions on what it is they really want and we actually know more than we acknowledge of ourselves. Everything is really within us as far as finding our own direction and purpose. And so it is a matter of asking yourself the right questions. And I actually have a list of good questions to ask yourself when you're feeling stuck. And if anyone would like that list of questions, if you're feeling stuck now, just email me and I'll be happy to send you that list. You can email soulfirewisdom@gmail.com. So that's my little tip for today. Ask the right questions. So I have a great guest today. My guest is Dr. Larissa Chuprina. And Larissa is a positive psychology practitioner, an ESL and culture teacher, and an interpreter. She teaches English to immigrants and expats and provides them with cultural and emotional support that eases their adjustment. She's proficient in English, Russian, and Ukrainian, and she serves as a translator for governmental organizations and businesses and provides strategic guidance and outreach to ethnic communities. Her passion is to create more welcoming communities. And I met Larissa through a mutual friend when we were doing some speaking workshops. And I've gotten to know her, and a little bit more about her work and her passion. So I am excited to introduce her now. Hi, Larissa.
Hello,
How are you today?
I'm great and thank you for inviting me for this show.
Oh, I'm glad to have you. So, can you tell us a little bit more about yourself and your background?
Yes, I was born in the family of an interpreter, and it was in Germany. However, my father was Russian, so it was Russian-German interpreter, and I was born in Germany. Very early in the age, I lived in 3 countries, so adjusting to new environment and learning languages was something very natural to me. And when, even at the age of 10, I already knew that I was going to be the language specialist, a language specialist.
Ah, okay. So, I was going to ask you how you got interested in languages and culture. I guess it was just kind of a natural process since you had to learn different languages.
It is part of it. When I came to the United States about 20 years ago, I came as a Fulbright scholar at the University of Tennessee. I understood that just to know the language is not enough. You need to understand the culture to be efficient, effective, and to feel comfortable, to feel at home. When my program was over, I was hired to be a cultural navigator for upcoming scholars at the university. And this is where I was really happy to connect scholars to local resources, to the community, and to help them understand what they are good at and what they can preserve as a core and what they can learn something new for them to enlarge their scope of abilities and achieve their dreams and goals. And this is what I'm doing now, but in a different capacity.
So, what brought you to the U.S.?
This scholarship,
Oh,
it's a
it was
fellowship, right? It was
a
government,
scholarship.
American government fellowship, Fulbright fellowship. I came to the University of Tennessee, and I was affiliated with this Central and East European Center with the College of Business. And my program was business and educational administration. And because in Ukraine, I already had my language school.
Okay, so what is unique about your language programs?
My language program is on the crossroad to culture, understanding self, and understanding how to use the language mindfully in order to understand self, to speak to yourself, and to speak to the people and in the situation where you would like to achieve your goals. So it is intersection of language, culture, and I would say it is supported by positive psychology, self-directed learning, spiritual psychology, and altogether provides the path to the people to achieve the dreams and goals.
And why is that important?
Positive psychology, as opposed to regular mainstream psychology, when they see what is wrong with the person and how to fix it. positive psychology looks what is good or what works, and so it's always looking for talents and natural resources which are already there, and understanding where the person wants to go, we can find resources on the way and what can help. So
Mm.
it is again, together with the students, we create a program that works for this specific person. It is tailor-made program, understanding themselves, their preferences, learning styles, and to enjoy the learning process on the way, and also believing in itself. That's why it's not only grammar, it's how to speak and use the language confidently. And the program is called English for Success and Happiness.
Oh, okay.
Because, yes.
So you have something called your signature method,
Yeah.
and what is that, and what does it include?
It includes even breathing techniques when I see the person is a little bit stressful. It includes some relaxation techniques, affirmation, art therapy. Oh, I don't say call it therapy, but it is art through with elements of psychology to understand where the person is and how the person sees himself or herself. And very often, um, thanks to these English classes, my students discover that they are artists or they are musicians, and
Ah,
they are happy to pursue their dreams. And sometimes they did not understand this talent within themselves. And it is always happy end. Uh, my students find a better job or have a promotion, find a life partner, make friends with neighbors finally, and know how to have a small talk or talk with the people in the park, or if they walk a dog. And before they were afraid. So a lot of those who come to me very often are afraid of speaking English. They are afraid of making mistakes, or maybe they are afraid of look stupid. So I provide them some resources and techniques how to feel confident and how to love themselves, how to accept themselves who they are. And now they look at the situation and the people they talk to with different eyes, looking for something positive, and on the way achieve the goals they set in front of them.
so I know that you feel like your hobbies and interests contribute both to your life and your work in a meaningful way.
Yes.
What are those, and how do you feel that they contribute?
For example, I like all kind of activities. It can be sport activities and dancing, also art. And when I create some retreats, happiness retreats, and invite my students where they can use language as a tool to learn something new. It can be a health retreat or happiness retreat, dance retreat. They also make new friends and use English so that they can express who they are. And in expressing themselves, they really feel this that they achieved something that they wanted. It is very important for everyone to be heard and to be seen. And when they can express themselves finally, they feel this satisfaction and a sense of belonging and
Mm-hmm.
happiness.
Okay, yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Lang- so
Mhm.
so language is just one means of expression.
Exactly right. But we also pay attention to different ways how to express self.
Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, I know that you have some beliefs regarding science and magic. Can
Hmm.
you talk a little bit about that and why it's important?
I believe in positive thinking, and it is a magical thinking because when we believe that it is possible, it is possible. And sometimes we cannot explain how it happens, and sometimes it is like a magic. So our magic wand is in our mind. What we can envision, this is what we can achieve. And this is what I want to pass to my students, that everything is possible.
Okay.
It's again a positive psychology, also some now happiness in the mainstream. There are a lot of studies showing that doctors who have a positive outlook to life, they perform better, and the health outcome for their patients is better.
Yes.
Yes,
And
the same athletes, if they envision it and they believe that they can achieve, they become gold medalists and Olympic champions. So in this, it is science is connected to magic. Uh,
yes,
Also, I believe that human potential is not discovered to the fullest yet. And I believe in human potential that and everybody can expand.
okay. Yeah.
Mhm.
There's actually a lot of neuroscience around
Mhm.
happiness and
Mhm.
developing your potential.
Yeah. For
So,
my classes, for example, I have a collection of humorous stories, and humor also adds some neurons lit up, and students remember the material better, and they enjoy the process. So the outcomes are also predictable that it would be a success.
yes, definitely. So, what is the biggest challenge you encounter in your work, either your coaching or your other the other things you do with regard to language?
It's interesting that it was 20 years ago, and when I lived in the South, and it was a very little town, it was a conception or a perception or misconception that people who have an accent maybe are not as educated or are not smart enough. So people around started speaking either louder or explain the same concept slowly. You know.
That is a little bit funny because I know that people also have a bias,
Mhm.
like people in the north and that have a bias of thinking people in the south are
Mhm.
not as intelligent because they speak more slowly.
Mhm.
so so sometimes our
Mhm.
ideas on that are, you
Mhm.
know, totally just make no sense. It's just something we picked up
Yeah.
that.
So that's why I created even it's not a course, but it is like a workshop. Love your accent and speak with confidence. Um, where I tell my students that I also have an accent, but it also means that you speak other languages. And people who speak several languages have a completely different, it's like to have a three-dimensional vision.
Yes, definitely. But
Yeah.
sometimes an accent doesn't mean you speak other languages, like the Southern accent as compared to Northern or Western. Um,
If it is Southern, I've just come back from Tennessee, and I love listening to this Southern accent. I see people are very rich with emotional intelligence. They also are not afraid of showing feelings, which is also intelligence. Their language is very colorful, very expressive, a lot of idioms. And so every language has a validity, and every dialect is also a language.
Sort of, yeah. Sometimes you have to look at it that way because
Yeah, if the word exists, there is a reason. Every word is an idea.
so what is the biggest gift or reward that you get from your work?
I love seeing my students succeed in what they're doing, in changing their attitude from passive into not passive, negative, maybe sometimes, or maybe passive attitude. They say there is no reason to do that, or no way I can get it. So it really transformative learning. In this, I also provide self-directed learning techniques and resources. So people are equipped with the tools to go into this area they want to use the language, equipped with the knowledge, skills, and attitudes that allow them to be successful and adjust to the culture well.
Okay.
And
What
it
is
gives
what
satisfaction.
what is the hardest for people, for immigrants, adjusting to a new environment? Is it the language learning itself, or adapting to the culture, or what?
Yeah, it's a very good question. It's a long answer to that, but especially it is difficult for people who are older and who are isolated. So isolation and lack of the opportunity uh, um, to speak, to connect with other people, to see the reason why they need to learn the language and adjust.
Mm-hmm.
But for younger people who really want either to study, to work, to have friends, to get married, to find some interesting activities, it really not as difficult if they understand what they want. Right.
Okay.
But there is no one English. You can say vocabulary even changes depending where you are going to use it.
Yes,
So I
definitely.
have courses, English for romantic relationship. I have expressing yourself with feelings and emotions, which is the most difficult part for most immigrants. And I also have English for wellness, how to keep um, positive and healthy, um, so that it requires the vocabulary to think in this way.
Definitely.
Yeah.
And I can see,
Mhm.
having the language for a professional environment would be different as
It would
well.
be different, yes. Yes. So if it is, for example, business language, then you will need to know how to write emails or memos, talk on the phone. and it is completely different style.
Yes.
Mhm.
So,
Mhm.
do you have any plans or dreams that you would like to accomplish that you're working toward?
Yes, I would like to put all my passions and talents in one place, and I am working on creating a happiness center and happiness movement, uh, and help especially immigrants, because I am an immigrant myself, and I know that a lot of immigrants want to contribute, and especially for older adults, it's so difficult to be hired, right, or to express themselves if they are not confident how to do it in English. So this center is supposed to bring talented people so that they can share their talents and leave a legacy. It can be embroidery, or maybe some cooking, or maybe parenting skills, or maybe some healing techniques. Um, it can be like unity center to celebrate humanity.
Okay, so is this a physical place that you want to
It's a physical, yes, I want to have a physical place, maybe with nature, um, a big place where we can get together. Maybe some construction is involved, but it can be like a park, a farm, artists,
Okay.
musicians, then get together.
Okay, well, it
Yeah.
sounds wonderful.
Yeah, we have it on a small scale once a year when we have a Welcome in America celebrations. So I invite the best musicians and artists, and that's how they share their talents. But it would be good to have it on a permanent basis, and especially in this period of time when musicians and artists have a difficult time to show and to contribute their talents.
Yes, hopefully that will change
Mhm.
sometime soon.
Yes.
So, what has surprised you most so far in your life? I know that's a broad question, but
You know, I was, when the first time when I came to the United States, mm, I was surprised to see that America is also a rural area, because the media only shows big cities and
mhm.
skyscrapers. Eh,
Aha.
mm.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
that was, yeah. In Tennessee, the nature and farmland is very much similar to Ukrainian nature. So I felt very much at home. And last week when I was visiting, it was really a surprise to me that I felt at home in Tennessee.
Mm,
Uh, yes.
good.
Another surprise was people. Yes.
What
Again, if you
surprised
look at
you
the, yeah,
about them?
yes, I like American people.
Oh, okay. You
There,
didn't think you
yes,
would?
I did not know many before.
Ah, okay.
Yes, but when again I look at Tennessee, then uh, they were so welcoming. They were inviting us to. There were 7 scholars, right? Inviting to their homes. They shared what they knew. They were so curious about different cultures. Um, I met some people who lived in Kenya or other African countries for 25 years as missionaries
Mm.
and helping local communities as much as they could.
So you
Um,
actually lived in Tennessee for a while
yes,
before.
uh, I lived in for 10 years before I moved to Washington. I got a professorship position at Seattle University when I moved.
So how are
Mhm.
Tennessee and Washington different?
Um, I like Washington now, and especially nature and vicinity of different locations like ocean and lakes and mountains. But for 3 years, it felt lonely.
Mm.
Later, I found out that the this local it has even a local name, Seattle Freeze, meaning that people can be polite here but not very welcoming or do not show emotions. And for me, it was very important. Um, but it took me about several years, about 3 years, to get in touch with different communities and to create a community around me, to feel connected and to feel belonging.
So I just noticed that we've been having a lot of comments here.
Ah, very good.
Somebody says Georgia people are the same. They are good people.
Mm-hmm,
And then some, I don't know what they said it to, but somebody said me too. And
mm-hmm.
may I ask what Dr. Larissa teaches?
Teachers. I teach now English as a second language with cultural acuity and emotional support. When I was teaching at the university, I was teaching methods of teaching languages, foreign languages, and specifically English as a second language. It was TESOL program and methods for adult education. So I was teaching philosophy and methods and skills. And my specialty is also self-directed learning skills. And in self-directed learning, some characteristic like resilience and knowledge of self are the core characteristics. So that's why I use this for my method when helping students understand themselves, what they want, and to keep going also, which is never give up. There is always hope.
So they said thanks.
Mhm.
And then somebody else asked how long you've been in the US.
Say it again.
How
How
long
long?
you've been in the United States?
I've been here for 25 years now. Yes, this year we celebrated the 25th anniversary of Fulbright program in Ukraine. And we were among the first Fulbrighters who came to the United States. Mhm.
Great. So we're getting close to the end of our time. If the listeners, if you could leave one thought with the listeners from today's show, what would you want that to be?
I want to say that we are all connected, all cultures and languages, and we learn from each other and grow this way. I would like to also remind that never give up. There is always hope, and it is fun to learn and to grow.
So I'm going to ask a question I didn't
Mhm.
intend to.
Mhm.
So from you saying that, are there a lot of emotional struggles that people adapting to a new culture go through?
Yes, definitely. Uh, and those who have some support as a family, for example, financially, it can be more difficult to bring a family, but emotionally, it's easier because you're not alone.
Mm-hmm.
If those like refugees who come here and they have support from the church or from the community, they can adjust better and can go up very soon. But those people who are alone and don't have any support, it can get into depression, it can be cultural shock, and they will never recover. And also self-doubt. And for those who don't speak English and don't understand culture and don't have resources, then it multiplies. It becomes even harder.
And
It
is
is
that
emotional, right? And also how it's like recreating yourself. Each time you have to say goodbye to people you knew or loved, and also to yourself, because every time it is like a new way of being.
yes, definitely. I can see that. Is that what motivated you to want to incorporate your coaching with
Yes, definitely. Yes, yes.
Okay. Well, how can people get in contact with you or find out more information?
Mhm. I have a Facebook page. It is called Language and Cultural Support to Immigrants. Also, it is my website, ESL and Culture Coach .net, and email ESL and Culture Coach at gmail.com, or my telephone. Call me anytime, and if I cannot answer immediately, I will definitely return your call as soon as I can. It is 425-327-6872.
Okay, great. And if you forget any of that, you can go to the radio website. That's soulfireradio.com. Click on guests and scroll down to Dr. Larissa Chuprina, and her website and I believe email are listed there. So thank you so much, Larissa, for being here today. I know that a lot of people need this type of information.
Thank you for inviting and sharing this information. And thank you, listeners, for your time too. It's
Yes,
an honor to be here.
yes. Thank you, everyone, for listening today. And I have a quote for you to carry with you through your week. And that is learning another language is not only learning different words for the same things, but learning another way to think about things. And that was said by Flora Lewis.
Mhm.
So thanks again, Dr. Larissa.
Thank you.
And we have another great show planned for next week. Next week, my guest will be Ruby Sanders. And Ruby is a clothing designer, and she's the owner of Ruby Jane Designs, which is an online store. And she also has her own clothing boutique in the art community of Tubac, Arizona. And so we'll find out what it's like to be a designing woman next week. That's 5/20, 26th, 25th
Mhm.
at 3 p.m. So be sure to join us. And thanks again.
Thank you.
Bye for now.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you for listening to Soul Fire Wisdom with Kate Olson. We hope you enjoyed the show. If we made you laugh, brightened your day, or sparked a new thought, we have succeeded in our mission. Join us next time when we'll share more secrets and truths and all the magic of transformation that is the journey to Soul Fire Wisdom. Always remember, be fierce in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire.